Thank you, girls. Wanola, thank you so much, guys. Thank you. I love you all. Thank you for joining us. This is awesome. Um, so many things I keep forgetting to do. I'm forgetting to record it as well here but that's fine. Record. So it's fine. Okay, cool. So I have my brother that I met him this year. Was it this year or late? No, towards the end of last year. How I got into his group, I don't know. But I found myself there, and I find that sometimes with all the things we're coping with, life can be so overwhelming. Sometimes you just need that little exit. And when you go to his group, you always find something. I always find something that will crack me up, and I would laugh. I'll find something that I would think, is that possible? Can people actually really do think like that? So it's always enlightening. So I am more than happy to have you here. Thank you so much once again for joining us, Mr. Kola Adeneye. So I wanted to, this is legacy talk. This is family meeting. It is legacy talk. And people that I invite to come here is because I've seen something in them that's changing and leaving a footprint in the sand. So for you, I've seen something that you're doing to lighten the mood, to ease the mental stress. But let's get to know you as a person. Who is Mr. Kola Adeneye?
So, good evening. I know you are the part of the Greenwich Meridian time that is evening. So, and to all the audience watching, around the world, good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, and happy Sunday. First and foremost, I really feel so humbled to be invited, by such an, energetic, friendly, loving, ever smiling Busola Shubam. And like the saying goes, sometimes people don't come into your life, by accident. Most of the time, if we pay attention, there's always a purpose for our path crossing each other. And I believe that this is one of the path crossing experience that is going to lead to a greater and mutually beneficial relationship. So Busola Shubamino, thank you so much for inviting me. I feel so honored to be part of this good work that you're doing and the impact you're making in the community globally or in diaspora, because I know that your audience cut across all walks of life, and they're men and women of substance and pedigree. So thank you first and foremost for that. I feel so humbled and I feel so honored to be on here today. Having said that, my name is Kola Adeneye. So I'm popularly known as Kola Adeneye. If you call me Sake, that will be that you're either my mother or my siblings. So
we'll stay away from that.
And then my late father used to call me Sake. So I was born and bred in Lagos, Nigeria, West Africa. I had my primary, secondary, and my first degree in Nigeria. I've been privileged to travel far and wide in Nigeria, cover a lot of countries by the grace of God. And my work experience started with, after my first degree, I worked with a British company. So I came from a STEM background, science, technology, engineering, and math. So very lucky and privileged in my life to start my career with a British multinational company. A company that is currently working with Oxford University to produce the COVID vaccine. So
oh wow!
I worked there for about 10 years, got to the managerial level, and there was an opportunity for me to come abroad. And my journey,
would that be Pfizer?
No, AstraZeneca.
Okay.
AstraZeneca, yeah, it's so they're contemporary. So AstraZeneca is a UK company. Pfizer, it's an American company. So Pfizer used to be my competitor. So there are some people here who
are the other fence then, because I used to work in Pfizer. Right. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So and then from there, work with Microsoft, and and then move into IT. And so on and so forth. Then became a consultant, in business strategy, and then also found myself lecturing also in London University. So I've had my ups and downs as well.
Okay.
I've fallen, I've failed, but there's one thing that I always, that God always did to me. I've always failed forward. And so one thing I've learned in life as part of also my mantra or my philosophy is that the first step to success is failure.
Mhm.
And I want to repeat that. Your very first step to success is failure. So, because then you fail and learn, and then you succeed. So I wrote that out and said, looking back into my life as a young boy, and I came to that conclusion after reflecting over my life that your first step in life to success is failure. And it's not just about enterprise alone or entrepreneurship. It's also about
Every-
our life journey as well. You
Everything.
mothers know better. When a child is going to walk, he or she is going to crawl and fall and fail and crawl and fail. And there's this exhilaration and excitement, by the parent watching the child fall and
Mm.
fail and then begin to crawl and then walk.
Yes.
So I think that is a process that we repeat all through our life. And
One
I've
thing
come to
that
that conclusion. So that is who I am, so.
Right. One thing that I find with you is, you're a man of faith, and you boldly, like you boldly proclaim your faith, which is good. And I find that encouraging, because not everybody, maybe in more recent years, people have found more boldness to say, yes, I'm a child of God. I'm, like you, but you outrightly will post, like, with scriptures and everything on your page. I love that. I absolutely love that. How
Thank
did you, have you always been, like that, or was it an evolving thing for you?
Okay, that's a very good question. So I grew up in a religious family. My parents,
Okay.
up to today, blessed memory to my late father, they raised us up in a very, strict and, discipline, environment. My late father is such a person that if you're going somewhere tomorrow, he wants you to go today and test the journey.
Okay.
He's such a religious person. We wake you up 4 a.m. in the morning. He will pray for between 4 to 5, then wake you up 5 a.m., and pray for all of us. So, and that was the foundation of my life. So I've come to believe that two things defines me, and I can speak for myself. Two things defines me. One, my culture. Two, my faith. And I am proud to say that when I came abroad as well, so I was a young pastor back in Nigeria, with Foursquare Gospel Church. And then when I came abroad here, by divine providence,
Mm.
I also started a ministry, a church.
Mm.
And I pastored the church for almost 15 years
Mm.
before I had to change and then wanted to do something different. Of
Mhm.
course, in the course of pastoring as well, I had a lot of challenges, and by the end of the day, that was part of my journey. So for me, there's this natural propensity, having grown in a faith environment or ecosystem, to always use some scriptural references to back up some of the things I'm doing. I'm not trying to claim holier than thou. I'm
Mhm.
just like every other person,
Yeah.
but my faith, kind of interferes with everything I do. I think it's now become so native to me that it reflects in my lifestyle.
That's excellent. That's beautiful is the word I can use to describe it. Um, when I was saying to I have this accountability group that we meet every Saturday. So when I was saying that, when I met you online, when I didn't meet you, when I joined your group, like I said, till I don't know how I got there. I found myself there. So when I joined that group, it wasn't up to 5,000, and for some reason you were celebrating Christmas. Then you were celebrating hitting the landmark of 5,000, which is
Yeah,
a lot of people. And I remember what I read, there was no advert. It was an organically grown
yeah,
thing. And I find that when people find value, they find excitement, they find somewhere where they can be themselves. You've kind of created that ambience in sound mind, that
yeah.
people there's no judgmental thing,
No,
or
no.
checking yourself, or like it's just It's just a sound environment for people to
Absolutely.
be
Yeah.
themselves
Yeah.
without being vulgar, if I can
Exactly.
use that word, which is very good. And on this point, then I can say kudos to all the moderators. You're doing a fantastic job. So when I was mentioning this, my accountability group yesterday, one of them said, I said now that it's gone up to 6,000 between now and Christmas. It's gone up to 6,000.
Yeah.
So someone said, you must make sure he tells us how he does that. So the question is to you now, how did you do that?
So I'll be honest with you. When we started about 6 or so months ago, my vision was very clear. Of course, with the name itself, it was scripturally inspired.
Okay.
But at the same time, I didn't want to create a community that is religious.
Mm-hmm.
The leading I had was that I should become the church by not judging people, by making the church a place. And when I talk about the church, I'm not talking about the generic knowledge. I'm talking about community of real people. So maybe I should use that word. So that was my intention. So
That's
my
what it
intention
is, really.
was to relate with people, just like who they are. That was so I wanted it to become organic. I want people to be authentic, and I don't want to have any judgmental approach. There are no right or wrong, comments or information. Within the moral moderation, I wanted to have a real community where people can be genuinely, organic and just express themselves. And that was how we started. So my vision was clear, and the strategy, like you rightly mentioned, was to be, to grow organically. And how can I do that? So in my first master's degree, I did a dissertation on ethnography. If you're very familiar with anthropology, you will probably remember what I'm talking about. So there was a theory called the theory of liminality, which means human beings are at their best when you create an unstructured environment and where they can really be, who they want to be.
Yeah.
So apart from the scriptural, biblical inspiration I had, I also applied the academic knowledge that I had. And I felt that that is the way I want to live my life. I wanted to have a community where people will be, real, authentic, have honest, open, and transparent conversation without any label or smearing or, without any projecting any social status. I wanted us to be human being, HP, human being. And I can see, so with that as well, so that will be our number one strategy. So the second one will be, who are the people who will back into these? And thank you, you mentioned the moderators. The moderators, bought into that vision as well. And I told them that, look, we're not going to be sensational so that we can become big. I want us to grow. Then I read also about, with my nature of work as well, so I had a basic, understanding of social media, growth and whatever. So I chose a pattern. So I did what I call a blue ocean strategy, where I'm going to look into area where a lot of people are not really focusing on, and then we'll carve a niche for ourselves. And I will choose a team of people who believe in that as well. And I've been very fortunate to have such a wonderful moderators who believe in the vision and who are running with it. So apart from creating a genuine, ecosystem where people can express who they are, the team also is important. Choosing a team that believes and ready to go where you're going. And then the ideas were not coming. The other thing was the creativity and innovation. So most time, if you find yourself leading a group, don't always think that all the ideas will come from you. So I learned that as a pastor, that if you have the privilege to lead, 90% of your growth and progress will come from your followers. So respectfully, I was watching and gauging the comment of people and try to find a way to express that on the platform. And that is the third strategy that I use, listening to people. It is called, in my line of work, it is called customer experience. So which I call community experience. So how are the people expressing their experiences? And that was where I was speaking out what we were doing. I mean, that was how we became, that's what's responsible for our growth. So I was taking note of the comments, the requests, the criticism, the observations of our followers, and listening to them helped us to grow. And I believe that our best year is ahead of us. Absolutely. As of today, we're almost 6,000, whatever, we've become almost 6,800. Wow. So, and then God also has been our strength, in whatever we do. So I'll leave you with those 3 points.
Thank you so much. That's very, very good. I had a question there. Let me just to acknowledge those we have on at the moment first, and then we come back to the question. Okay, comments there. Happiness is contagious. Great vibes. Okay. See, Alabi, I don't know what she was referring to. It was something that was a while back then. She said, yes, true was hard to find. And Adli, the first step to success is failure. She's just confirming what you said there. And Fumi, good evening, Fumi. Good evening, Fumi GE. Thank you for joining us. You've spoken about your background. You told us how you've grown Sound Mind. For you now, I know you're a man of vision, so definitely you have something you're thinking of. This is how you want people to think of you. This is the legacy, let me put it that way. This is legacy you want to be remembered for. When people think of you at any point in time, it doesn't necessarily mean when you're gone when you say Kola Adeneye, what comes to their mind? What is it that you're working on?
Okay, so that's a very good question. So one of the things I've learned in life is always to evolve and never see anything as permanent. So I've learned that in my own personal life journey. So when people think about Kola Adeneye, with all modesty, what I wanted to think about is someone who add value and also would like to see other people achieve their personal, vision and purpose in life. That will be the driver of my life. I am, by the grace of God, I want to meet with you. And I really want to leave an indelible mark on you, something that keeps you thinking about how can I be better and how can I achieve, my life purpose, So that will be, the imprint I want to leave on people.
And that's one thing that should be for every one of us, such that anywhere we go in life, anyone we come in contact with, I know whether we deliberately set out to do it, it happens because for everybody that you come in contact with, you're either leaving a positive or negative or a neutral imprint on them. So, but when you purposefully make them feel good, when you purposefully make every contact feel good about yourself, it's not always easy. Sometimes it can be trying, especially with social media. But when we purposefully do that, I have a friend of my sister, she gave herself the nickname Salt. But when you think about it, it makes a lot of sense because she wants people that she comes in contact with to get that flavor that she's added value to their life.
Yeah.
So I want to encourage everyone. Do you have any question? Put your question in the chat box. We will throw your questions at Mr. Adeneye. Specialist and is the founder of Sound Mind. So this is one of the questions that I saw on your page on the group. It says, true or false, wedding ring is the smallest handcuff ever made. Don't be in a hurry to wear one. Study your fellow image and sentence yourself wisely. What do you think of that?
True. There's no ambiguity about that. That's true.
Why would you say that? You can't just say true, or you have to back it up.
I thought the question says true or false. Okay.
Yes.
So I think I understood the metaphor here. So I think if you, so marriage, or I think that's what the statement is trying to say, not
Yeah,
really the wedding. The wedding is the ceremony. So
yeah.
marriage is a lifetime journey.
Mhm.
And if you're going to sentence yourself, into a lifetime journey, you better be sure that this is something you want for a lifetime.
Mhm. That's so true because a lot of people don't get to know who they're marrying before they, like it's just they get too excited. I, don't know, I hate to say a lot of people. Let me say some people because I have no statistics to back that up. Some people would rush just for the idea of I don't want to remain single or I don't want to, time is running out or my mates are, it's never any reason to do that. This is a lifetime commitment, and whoever you're getting married to should be somebody that will be able to support you living the best version of yourself. Remember, this is legacy talks. So life is about you living the best, not just while you're alive, so that you can empty yourself of all the goodness that's inside of you. So it's not something we rush into. I agree with you. I would say, I would say true as well. So we go on to the next one. Where is it now? Oh, sorry. Oh, that's a cheat. You weren't supposed to see that. Okay. It says, let's see if we have any comments in there. Hi, Irene. Just seeing your message there. Hi, Irene. Okay. So DNA test certificates should be issued along with birth certificates in hospitals. What do you think?
So about 2 weeks ago or so we run a program on Sound Mind every Monday called Speaking from Your Heart.
Right.
So I'm privileged to be the one to anchor it. It's a weekly bulletin on Sound Mind. And 2 Mondays ago, that was the topic. The topic was, should DNA status be included in child's birth certificates? And we look at the pro and cons. So by my own knowledge, experience, and understanding, I think if a birth certificate is a document that changes people's life, that is important, there's hardly anything you will do in a civil society where birth certificate will not be involved. They will want to authenticate. And if a birth certificate includes the names of parents, and I think that everything on that certificate should be genuine.
Absolutely.
There shouldn't be any question about that. A child should not grow up and then realize that the name on his or her birth certificate are wrong. I mean, that can leave the child totally devastated, and he or she may not be able to trust anyone again. So based on that, I think the DNA test certificate should be issued along with birth. In fact, it should be included. The caveat, though, will be that in this age of technology, there could be a QR code, which will mean no one will see the DNA test.
Yeah.
But if there's any paternity litigation or any question, parent, whatever, the authority, the government alone will have the opportunity to scan the QR code on the certificate to reveal the DNA.
But you know what you said there about it being a traumatic experience. So I think sometimes when people go through those things, they're not thinking long term when that is being done. I watched a case on paternity court where this woman had she's a young woman, married herself, but she always felt something was missing because she didn't know who her father was. Her father, the mother had told her that the father died, but she had vague memories of growing up. Anyway, there was another person that presented himself that he's the father because she was found on Facebook as looking exactly like them in the family, and because he had a child with the mother, so she was kind of caught in between, but she never felt connection to the one that says that I'm your father. Eventually, the one that was supposed to be dead came to court, because the woman apparently must have lied or something. But the story got so messy, and the girl was excited to eventually see the person that's the father, only to find out after the DNA test was done that wasn't actually even the father. So when it's done at birth, I think, all questions can be sorted before the child grows up and knows anything and becomes I mean, I think it's just pure wickedness, pure absolute wickedness because of the trauma of, that is one life that's just going through turmoil. So thank you. And whoever came up with that question, I think that's just a beautiful one. Thank you so much for having that as well. Now this is for you as well. If your ex needs blood and you are the only available donor, would you give?
Yeah, so the issue here is not about the person, it's a matter of life and death. So based on that, I will give it.
That's so sweet. I don't know how many people would, probably because of bad experiences. They'll be like, no, it doesn't, don't come to me, I don't want to hear it. It could have killed me as well, but I love the way you put it back. So we take the eyes off the person and go to the need. Thank you so much. Okay, so I think that's probably the last one. I'm also sure we'll check that out. I'm just trying to see as well before we go into that if we have any. Adeline says very insightful session. Oluwarotimi, hi. Thank you for joining us. Wonu says inspiring tips, Mr. Adeneye. Thank you. T. Alabi says very inspirational. Jumoke Onomakinde Oseni says true. And Arlene, yes. Loneliness and society pressure push people to rush. Why DNA status, Adeline? Arlene is asking why DNA status. Aline, I suppose it's because they want to know who the real father is, so that the child is not traumatized at the end of the day. So once they know what the DNA is, the mother can begin to say exactly, or if the father is not in the picture, bring him to book, so they know who the father is. Only the mother really should know. The male figures aren't always clear in the picture. Sometimes the female, depends on how promiscuous the person is, might not be able to say as well. So I suppose that is it. Adeline says, where is Handmind and how do people join?
Okay. I can send you the link to so.
Yes, I will send the link at the end. We'll send the link at the bottom of this video.
Yeah, I will send the link straight away at the bottom.
Okay, cool. He's going to send the link straight away. So if you want to join, please join SoundMind. It's a chill zone. Be yourself, so thank you so much. I'll just give it time to send that link and we go to this other question then.
So
have you sent it, Adeline? No? Have you sent it?
Yeah, I'm gonna say it now. Yeah. Okay, so do you do that?
If you have answers to any of these questions as well, if you have a differing opinion, put it in the chat box. Let's take it up. Or if you have another question for him, knowing that he shares a platform that puts people in that frame of mind. If you have a question for him, please go ahead and put it in the chat box. Let's get it out of him while we have him today. Right. So is it done?
No, I'm just trying to, I used to know how to copy the link now, I don't know. So I'm just gonna do something now. Copy the link. Okay, here we go now.
Just 1 minute there.
Yeah, I've copied the link. So you want me to send it under the video, right?
Yes, please send it. Put it in the chat box there as well. Just put it in any of the chat boxes.
Oh, you mean on Zoom chat box?
No, under the video on Facebook.
Oh, okay then. So
yeah. And I'll send it out at the end of the meeting as well. I'll send it there as well. So
I'm even looking at the video now. Where's the video on my page? Okay, I'll go to SoundMind. I think I saw it on the SoundMind.
Right.
Okay,
Oh,
just
someone's already sent it.
oh, someone has sent it.
Yeah, Tia Labi has sent it there.
Oh, thank you, Tia Labi. That's one of our yeah. See.
Okay, and T says if it doesn't work, send me a friend request and I'll invite you. So
Yeah, I
that's
just sent it as well.
okay, cool.
Yeah, I just sent it now straight away.
Okay, perfect. Are we good to go?
Yeah, we're good to go. And if they're online, okay, they are not joining via SoundMic. I think I got the problem now. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So the question now for you is, if someone borrowed 5K from you and comes to your celebration party and sprays you 50K, is the person still owing you?
So, I mean, without sounding arrogant, and this is pretty straightforward for me.
Yeah.
Some people may not agree.
Mm.
So, borrow, already presupposes a contractual agreement.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think that it will be honorable to pay what you borrow, whatever you take in the name of borrow.
Yeah.
It suffice that it should pay back. So, it's there's an enterprise there, and that person should pay. Even if it's spraying me $1 million, I will still want you to pay 5K. I can therefore say, you know what, take back your 5K because you've been amazing. But the payment has to be made.
Is integrity. It's a question of integrity.
Absolutely, yeah, it has to do with integrity, yeah.
So and I hope we all have that. If the person is owing, there's something they say in Yoruba. It's my mom. I've heard my mom say it a couple of times. Oranjora, meaning gift is gift and purchase is purchase. There's nothing called purchase gifts.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's the best thing that's actually applicable in this situation. If it's a gift, it's a gift. If it's a purchase, it's a purchase. If it's a contract, it's a contract. So you can borrow 5K and spray 1 million. You're still owing if you're owing.
Absolutely.
So I think we're coming gradually towards the end of it. Oh, can you imagine? I actually had it there on the screen all along.
Oh, it's there already on the screen. Thank you.
Oh my days! I forgot it was there.
Can you please copy it then and send it into the chat box, please?
Yes.
It's possible for you to copy, yeah?
It's already in the chat box because they have it. They have it they have it on the screen there. Like I said,
they won't be able to click on this link. They won't be able to click.
No, Tia Labi has it there, so they can
okay, fantastic.
Yes. So, do you have any message that you want to give to our viewers today?
Okay, so first and foremost, thank you for having me. I've learned a lot, to be honest with you, from you and what you're doing. I really want to commend, this ecosystem that you've created and the impact you're making, the messages you're sharing, and the influence that you're having on people's lives. You may not get that, but I can tell you, a lot of people, life can be influenced or is being influenced by what you're doing. So I really want to commend you, and I thank you so much for reaching out. I won't take this for granted. There's something my late grandmother used to say. She was 114 years old.
Oh, wow.
She was very late last year, November or December. So, and one thing she said, and that never depart from my head. And I believe that that message will help all of us. We live in such, highly competitive environment. Social media has really made that very worse, where people want to look better than each other, and also put out, let me use our colloquial word, I better pass my labor, attitude. So my grandmother taught me something, and she said, Kola, you're not better than anybody. No one is better than you. Just be you. Wow. So the way she put it in our local dialect made a lasting impression on me. And sometimes, English, sometimes it not be sufficient to express our local dialect. Yeah. But that is the best way to explain it. To say, Kola, you are unique in life. No one will ever be better than you. You will never be better than anybody. So just focus and stay on your lane, if I can
Mm-hmm.
use that word. I think
Yeah.
that would be my message
Thank
for
you.
all
That's
of us,
super.
watching this program, and for those who are very active on social media, who look at other people's profile and
Mm.
feel deflated or lesser, make them feel lesser than who they are. You are not lesser than who you are because you saw other person doing better than you. No one is doing better than you. You are not doing better than anybody. You are just you, and you are good enough.
Thank you so much. That is honestly, that is very, very profound. Thank you so much. And that is so real, so true, because a lot of times we're trying to be what we are not. And you can never be happy for
Yeah,
as long as you're doing that, because you will always be measuring yourself against standard that is not yours. Be you, love yourself. First find yourself. First find yourself first. And for me, and I can't say this enough, I find that everything that we do in life just comes back to identity. It comes back to who you are. So find yourself so that you don't walk another person's lane. So that you don't follow somebody that says, I know where you are going. You can't know where I'm going if I don't know where I'm going. So I
absolutely.
will just be following you. It's important for me to know where I am going so that I can then go my way. Because sometimes even our loved ones will tell us, no, this is not good for you. And you can follow that advice, follow that direction, only for you to get there to think this is not me. How did I get here?
Yeah.
So it's so important. That is sound mind, isn't it?
It is sound mind, absolutely. I was going to say that, yeah.
So thank you so much. It's been a very big pleasure to have you. It's an honor to host you. Thank you for giving us your time, which is the most precious of all resources. Thank you for giving us of your mind and giving us the opportunity to share your group as well.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. For everyone working and watching from home, it's been a great time again today. I've had fun even just going over those questions with him. Um, it's next week. Please join us at 6 p.m. I'm going to be having somebody that touches my life in a different way again. And what this woman is doing, it's amazing. The way I met her, in fact, was like, I met her here in Ireland. She was visiting. So, and when she told me what she was doing back home, what she came to do, what she was doing, and even following her, seeing how she has even progressed beyond that, it's amazing what she's doing. It just tells us that there's a lot inside of us that we need. You will challenge yourself, no doubt. You will challenge yourself that what am I doing? Or am I just waking up and sleeping? What do I have in my purpose to fulfill? If you're not doing anything, get your pen and paper, write out everything you desire to do, and just run out and do whatever you have to do. Touch every life, even if it's just a smile, as small as a smile. If it's just a word of encouragement, one positive word. As you help yourself, you're helping others. So before we go, I'm just going to remind you once again, Mastermind on the 13th of February, 5 p.m. GMT is going to be. We're going to be advertising that up until then. All our events for the year I've already highlighted on toplevel.com/events. So if you're struggling with balancing working from home, make sure you attend this webinar. If you need time out from your current situation, pop it to Sound Mind. You will
Absolutely.
you will always find something to distress. We don't need it.
Because
Thank
there's something we say there.
Yeah.
Please, guys, remember, don't give anyone a piece of your mind. Give them your sound mind.
That's a good one. Thank you so much, Mr. Adeneye.
God
Lovely
bless
meeting
you.
you once again.
Thank you, Busola. Really a
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Have
Thank
a
you
good
so
evening.
much. You too. God bless. Thank you, everyone. I'm just going
Bye.
to see if we have anything before we go. I don't think so.
Okay.
Let's see. No, that's